Hello, my name is Dr. Sylvia Hollis, and this is a general introduction video for all of my classes. I wanted to just provide some background content in terms of how to navigate the course websites, the syllabi, in case there's any lingering questions about how to submit your first assignment. I think we'll first begin with an overview of what most of the course websites look like. They're pretty consistent. So let me share my screen. So you'll see a general homepage. Most course websites will look the same, that include background information about any updated announcements, where the textbook is listed if you're interested in that, as well as in terms of how to buy the textbook, background information on the library, how to conduct research along with the class, as well as virtual tutoring opportunities. And I believe that the more updated version of this includes a direct link about COVID-19 information on campus. This is an older course website, and so you'll see what the typical semester looks like. Me sharing information, not sometimes it's not related to the course. It might be things related to internship opportunities or job opportunities, as well as general announcements about what the remainder of the semester will look like, what's expected of you, if there's any kind of opportunity for you to receive extra credit during the semester, that I wasn't able to foresee when mapping out the syllabus. I'll include that at some points in courses, as well as an overview on how to access the class via a web link. So that's the announcement section. The most important section for most classes will be the syllabus as well as the course content. To navigate course content, that's how you understand what's expected of you week to week. And I always break down my modules by weeks. So for any given week, you'll have some readings, something to watch sometimes. I use a lot of documentary films in my classes, as well as what the deliverables are, what's expected of you week to week. So if you were to click, for example, on week 1, there's the additional information about what's expected of you in the first week, and then the things that you need to submit in terms of work. It'll have an icon that looks like this. It might not be a film crit, it might be a response paper, or it might be a Prezi, but depending on what the class is, when it's time for you to submit the work, click on the title. You'll always see what the possible point scale is for the class, and that's also listed on the syllabus in terms of how many points per assignment. And you can either write the submissions in by clicking this, or you can upload via a Word document or Pages or something, or PDF, something like universally accepted medium. So that's how you submit your work. Some classes also have discussion boards. That's a discussion board link, and the prompts are always also included within the discussion board once you click on it. And that's pretty much it in terms of an overview of the how to navigate the website for the class. The other topic might be, well, okay, how do I navigate the syllabus? Again, the syllabus you would access here on Blackboard. You'll download it, and all my syllabi look very similarly. They look similar, and so it's easier for you to understand what's expected of you from day to day. And also the kind of aerial top-down view. So they'll always start with the name of the course, the title, or follow the general template of Montgomery College. And then always keep an eye out for whether the class, in case you weren't aware, is distance learning or structured remote or in person, or something in between. Distance learning is virtual, but it's also self-directed. So if you signed up for a distance learning course, that means there will be no point where we all log on together as a cohort and work together, but we will have opportunities to talk via discussion board posts. If there's a structured remote class, I'll send you a link ahead of time, and you'll have an opportunity to log in from wherever you are, and we'll have a standard amount of times to meet throughout the week. to have class. If it's in person, of course, I'll have on the syllabus where we would meet, what building, what room number. So it just depends on what's on on your on your schedule, your course schedule. But that's up to you to know. But just do pay attention to that before class starts. Also, you'll see a general overview of what the course um, outline is, what the most significant outcomes will be for whatever course you're enrolled in. I have office hours, and keep track of what those office hours are and how to follow up with making appointments and or popping in to the office on campus. Also, whatever the course materials are, they'll be included in the syllabus. Pay attention to that. If I have links for you to be able to access a version of the book via the university website, do keep an eye out for that, versus if it's an open educational resource, which is just a textbook that is on a website that you don't have to pay for. If that's an option, which I try to chase down those options, and I'll share that information as well. All of my classes have the same little movie disclaimer here. This class is for mature audiences. This history is a study of the past. It's a study of change over time. It's a study of major events. And sometimes those events are not just difficult, but traumatic. Sometimes they are violent. And so we all come with our own ways of processing all of what I just said. And so I do want you to know that sometimes if I forget to say, let's say it's a live lecture, if I forget to say, wow, this is about to be heavy, something, the film I'm going to show you is rather has a rape scene in it, or it has a act of racial violence in it, or something that is traumatic for folks that are identified as queer in it. If I forget to say that at any point, but completely blame it on my head and not on my teaching rigor, I want to make sure that you all know that this things that we're talking about in class are not commonplace. And as such, I just hope you show up as your best selves and come prepared to do this work together with us as a group, whether we're virtual and or in person. But I just really wanted to say that this most of my history classes deal with heavy things. And if you at any point wanted to have conversations around how to work, how to write, how to think, how to organize, how to give yourself permission to, check out and then check back in to process this stuff. Feel free to follow up. I will say that the way that I can best support you is through the lens of what it is to be a historian doing this work. I'm not skilled at counseling or therapy. That's not my job. I don't have that. That's not my profession. I am sharing that if at any point some of these materials become difficult to work through or write through, I want to give you permission to take the time you need to come back to them. But I do want you to find something to write through as we progress week to week to week, and related to the readings, the course content, the videos, the primary sources. So the rest of this course, all of my courses have a similar flow. You'll have work that's expected of you. Some syllabi will look like this. They all will do the same thing, whether or not they look like this or not. They all will have a week-to-week progression. They'll all have an overview of the deliverables and the deadlines when the work is due. I sometimes also include information about additional opportunities for internships or campus groups that have deadlines coming up in the syllabi. A lot of times those will be highlighted. And also I include a link to the drop information because if you're in a class and you feel like you register for something that doesn't fit your needs, it doesn't suit you, it's better for you to make sure that you go through the paperwork process earlier rather than later, so that you can at least receive potentially the benefit of your pay or the thing that you paid for the class, or at least not end up having a grade placed in your transcript that's not representative of the type of work and the caliber of person that you are. So do keep track of what that is as you see those deadlines in the syllabus. Sometimes if there's other events happening, I will include information about that off-campus events, some collaborations that I might have going on in other places, and with like discount codes. This is something that I'm doing, for example, this semester. But some semesters that doesn't happen, but just so that you know, there are other opportunities to collaborate. Same thing with conferences on campus. I'll include that as well. In terms of evaluation metrics, do pay attention to this before your first assignment is submitted. How do I grade? What do I base my grading on? Um, so excellent work is work that's thoughtful and in response to the questions and or the prompts. It uses the material that I gave you for the week to process to process your answers, and that work is I give an A. B work is material where you have a good response, but the work has maybe some grammatical errors and lacks the kind of thoughtfulness referencing A work. C work, the work was submitted, and maybe there's some other issues going on that might be grammatical, might be some opportunities that you kind of deeply missed in terms of responding to the broader understanding of the question. D work tends to have some grammatical issues to the point where I can't really understand the submission itself or how it relates to the question. F work is one of two things. Either you did not submit it or the work that you submitted is not your original content. It's not your original idea. Along with that, we have overview of what the future assignments are. There's how I break down the grading. So I have things like response papers will make up about 25% of the grade, quizzes 25%, primary source labs, which you'll be introduced to 25%, and discussion board posts 25%. Now, if you're in an in-person class, the last 25% will consist of your class participation in class as well as the discussion board posts. Sometimes I have extra credit opportunities, and in this class I do, and so you see that listed below, as well as opportunities for you to follow up with the assessment centers if you need additional assistance. And there's also some tutoring information as well as COVID information. So make sure that you familiarize yourself with our COVID procedures. Um, and with that being said, I'm really excited about all my classes. So I can't wait to get to know you all. I look forward to being not just your professor, but a person to help think about like what your future goals are. If at any point you're working through some opportunities or internships or job applications, I wanted to have a reference. I do that quite regularly for students, and so please don't hesitate, even if you're not, declaring yourself within the humanities or general. Please don't hesitate to send me an email. We could talk through that process together. If you're interested in learning about what it is to be a historian and what historians do, or working in museums, or what that's like. Um, uh, I come with both of those kind of backgrounds, and so I think that this semester is going to be a great semester, and I look forward to seeing what you submit and getting to know all of you over the course of our time together.